So I want to talk to you a little bit about sprints and marathons when it comes to goal setting. So as an example, if I said you've got a big project to do, maybe it's a renovation, and you can go 100%, so as hard as you can go for 3 days, my maths tells me that 3 days times 100% output equals 300%. Now, alternatively, what if you did 80% of your capacity, but did it for 4 days? So decrease the intensity, increase the duration. My math says that 4 days at 80% gives you 320% output. And so if you start measuring your objectives over, say, a period of a week, you can then dictate, well, do I go really hard for 3 days or do I go slightly less but for 4 days? What's overall going to give me the best outcome? Now that's simple maths, and it's obviously not often that simple to break it down, but if you look at your financial goals over a 1 month or a quarterly period, sometimes they can feel really hard and you almost feel the need to go 100% into it. You start to neglect your health, your partner, your general well-being in pursuit of this short-term goal that may or may not serve you long-term. The other way to look at it is if you're growing a business or trying to build a wealth portfolio or even just trying to improve the relationship with your partner, are you better off doing smaller but more consistent things over the long term? And that way, when you're playing these games that are 5-year, 10-year, or infinite in duration, what decisions am I making where I'm either going to burn myself out or maybe not get the outcomes versus taking a step back and making sure I'm going a bit further on the long term. So if you think about that in the context of saving for a financial goal, maybe it's something like a new car, and let's just throw a figure out there and say it's a $50,000 purchase. Well, if you decide that you need that 1 week from now, coming up with $50,000 might be problematic and may force you to use credit services such as personal loans, redrawing from a mortgage, salary packaging, that type of thing. Versus if you say, look, in 5 years' time, I'm going to want a brand new car for $50,000. Well, all of a sudden, you can start to break that goal down into chunks. So you say, well, that's $10,000 a year, which is roughly $200 a week, and that becomes the goal. So again, $200 a week, a lot more achievable than coming up with $50,000 up front. All you've done is extend the time frame. Same thing for paying off a mortgage. That's the whole reason people get into mortgages in the first place. Typically, you don't have the $1 million these days to buy a home, but you might be able to afford the repayments over 30 years to make that happen. So good to reframe that in terms of your own goals, even if it's study. If you're trying to finish a degree, you don't have to do all your subjects in a day or a week or a month. Typically, you break that down into a couple of years and you chunk it along the way. So it's a good frame. So again, you can go 100% for 3 days and get 300% output. You can go 80% for 4 days and get 320% output. It really just comes down to what you're trying to achieve over long term, and just reminding yourself that, life is a marathon, not a sprint. So hope you found that helpful, and I'll see you in the next one.